Here's a painting of Lorelai. It's a fun one. Start out with the ruler because I want to make sure that the placement of the portrait was correct on the canvas. I want it in a very specific area, so I had to make sure that the general placement was correct. A lot of times I tend to just wing it and not hope, but the composition usually works out. But when I'm doing a portrait, I want to have it in a very specific area because I'm wanting the eye to go around the portrait effectively, and so I place it in the right spot. But anyways, this first layer of what I'm working on here with the oil paint of this painting of Lorelai is used with a synthetic mongoose brush for the majority of it. I used a fan brush here and there and also a filbert, but for the most part it was that. It has some nice bounce to it in terms of using the mongoose haired brush. So the bounce is nice when you're applying paint to the canvas. It's not too hard that it'll take the paint off of the canvas, and it's not too soft that you can't have any paint on the brush to be able to place on the canvas. So it's a good divider between a bristle brush and a sable. And here you can see that I'm just laying on the paint, placing it more directly on the canvas. The palette's off to the right so that you can see the division of colors. I did this one relatively directly. And here in the first layer, when I painted it directly, I was thinking I was doing the right thing, which is why I like to paint in multiple layers. I feel like I'm doing a really good job and I'm dialing in on the proportions and shapes and colors are looking right in relationship to each other. And then I go to bed. I wake up the next day and I look at it and I tend to go, what the was I thinking? What was I thinking? That's what I think. So because I wasn't thinking correctly on this, I convinced myself that it was looking awesome. I let it dry, noticed that it was wrong. The colors were all wrong. She looked too jaundiced and yellow. So I added a little bit more raw umber and some other varying colors and darkened the values a little bit more in relationship to the other portraits. She had a darker skin tone, and I really wanted to capture that darker olive skin tone. I mean, she has some beautiful skin, and it's not as pale as some of the other kids that I've painted. So anyways, I had to repaint her whole entire face, as you can see now. And I don't think the parents were so happy with the somber look on her face, but I felt like it nailed her. I did make her look a little bit older. I could have softened up the jaw a little bit more to make her look a little bit more young. But the hair was dialed in, all the proportions and the shapes, I feel like were really good and nailing it. So hopefully, and sometimes you just have to do it twice. You have to paint it twice to be able to make things happen. All right, have a good day.